Hello, everyone. I hope Sam's professional journey has given you a glimpse of inspiration, and now we will proceed having some more industry professionals to help you navigate your career and work. So basically, first things first, I want to give a shout out to everyone who sent their portfolios to be publicly displayed and evaluated. It was really brave from all of you, and it demonstrates truly how well all of you approach feedback. So I'm sure that all of our speakers will give you some great tips and tricks for your career and how to make your portfolios even better than they already are. So without further ado, and not to make it sound too official, I will invite our speakers on stage to join me. So please, I'm inviting Milica Mastelica from Playstudios. Hi, Milica. Also from Nordeus headquarters, we are having Nenad Nešović.
Hello.
And last but not least, and not from really far away, Ivana Radović from Playrix RS from Nordeus. You're actually the further from us. So.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for this session today, and I hope you all had a chance. I actually know you all had a chance to go through all of the portfolios before this session. You did some of your homework, and each of you chose one portfolio to give your feedback. So first question I would like to ask you, was it a difficult task now?
Well, it was not easy. I can say that.
Definitely.
On my side, I expected kind of a bit more art on a 3D side. I mean, because I'm a 3D artist, so I kind of expected a bit more. But anyway, I chose one of the work, but other works were really good as well.
We have only time for 3 portfolios, so each one of you will give their feedbacks and your best opinions on every portfolio today. I will also invite everyone to ask questions if they have any questions for Ivana, Milica, or Nenad regarding their work, their careers, and so on. You can type everything in the chat box, and that's about it. I think it's the best to use this time and actually start with portfolios. Milica, can you share the portfolio that you chose for this session?
Yes, of course. Okay, so I can start, right?
Yeah, you can.
Amazing. So I am Milica Mastelica from Playstudios, and I worked there as a concept artist for almost 2 years. And from all the portfolio that we had to choose from for this presentation, I chose this one from Tiana Petrovic because I feel like that her work aligns the best with what I do and after all what my company does. Because I feel like by choosing her work like that, I can give her the most tailored feedback because I can understand how she's thinking. I can see, we can first take a look at her entire portfolio. She has a lot of different things, characters and concepts, environments. Here, yeah. And I would like to say that the first impression is that it's obvious that her portfolio is catered towards concept art. So Tiana, if you are watching, I think that this is what you want to do. So I am going to talk from that standpoint. It's very good that you have like a lot of different styles. It's not just realistic. Here you have some more blocky stuff in render and also more painterly. Here it's more realistic. and also more like atmospheric and stuff like that. So that is really amazing because you are not limiting yourself to just one thing. That is great. One thing that first comes to mind when I look at the portfolio is that the portfolio format feels like maybe tiny bit too designed. Like we have these like design elements, the title and these lines, and that is all great. But I think that we can maybe avoid using so much of that because it distracts from your work. Because your stuff in your artwork should be just front and centered, and these design elements can be just supportive, like make it even prettier. And also, one more thing, I wanted to like find your work online, and I couldn't find you. I really wanted to find your ArtStation or Instagram or whatever, because I wanted to understand what you do a lot more, and I couldn't. I couldn't find any links to that. So I would suggest to have an ArtStation, and it would be also much easier for companies or agencies to find your work like that, and make a bookmark basically of your portfolio and save it for the future. Uh, One thing also that I would like to say is that when I look at your work overall, I feel like that we can do like a lot more design exploration. I see here that you have a lot of these like stages, like first line work and then later some flat colors and then like highlights and shadows. But I feel like instead of that, because we all know how that process works, instead of that, we can have maybe different different designs of the same thing, like variation number one, variation number two, or stuff like that. Like this guy can have like 3 or 4 different designs. Like one can have a huge hat, like some crazy mask, maybe some insane, I don't know, pants or coat or stuff like that. We don't have to just go with the first version we think of. Just let's explore, go crazy. So, um, just a second. Also, one more thing is that we should add like a lot more interest to the design. And what I mean by that is when I look at this illustration, for example, uh, is that here I feel like we can add like a lot more atmosphere. It lacks some narrative, some story, like what is going on here. That also applies for these rest of the images. Like maybe here, I don't know, our character just passed through a sandstorm and the sand is swirling around, and maybe the clouds are like super dark, and maybe the ray of sunlight is like dazzling on them and stuff like that. So it's for the entertainment industry after all. So we could make it like more interesting and more cool to have those elements that enhance the story of your paintings. Next thing, I feel like that we can work a lot more on fundamentals. And I would like to see, if I take a look at your work, maybe, I don't know, in 5 years or something like that, to see that we are working a lot more on anatomy, perspective, lighting, for example, for anatomy here, I feel like that all of these are kind of correct, but we can do like something more relaxed, maybe in different poses. Like maybe she is I don't know, running, or she is jumping. Maybe she is swinging this sword, or I don't know, doing something with it, so that we can understand her character a lot more, and also like do some gestures, like find some interesting pictures, or maybe browse Pinterest or something like that, and I think that can help you quite a lot. Also, for that, for the anatomy, some useful tips is to study books and understand muscles and proportions, and just analyze it a lot more. Next thing that I would say is in this last few paintings, these last three of the desert, I feel like they are looking quite beautiful, actually. And there is nothing too bad to say about them, but they kind of feel that they are like photographic, not in bad way, but I feel like that we can put a lot more design into them. Like anyone can Google some pretty pictures on Pinterest, and do studies off of that, and there is nothing wrong with that. But I feel like that we can put a lot more emphasis on using those references to create something that is unique and not seen before. So to create some worlds that have a story, some interesting, I don't know, elements in compositions and stuff like that. And these photo studies, if this is what they are, I think that they can help us quite a lot in like practicing rendering and I don't know, colors and stuff like that. But they shouldn't be like one of the main paintings in our portfolio.
Thank you, Milica. I'm sorry. We have two more portfolios, and I can see you have a lot of advices for our candidates, which is great. I hope, I hope they picked up some of them, and that they will actually apply, which is really great. We also can communicate via email with our candidates, so we can talk this through, which is great. Thank you. The next step, we will come back after for like a complete feedback from all three of you, but let's move on to the second one. And Milica, this was really great. Thank you. Nenad, you're up. Nenad, you're up.
Thank you.
You chose a candidate with the same name as yours, right?
Yes, but that wasn't the actual criteria. I really tried to find the artwork that kind of goes in line with work that I do in Nordeus. I promise.
But aren't all 3D artists starting from 2D or not? Am I right or wrong?
I guess you are kind of wrong. It doesn't need to be. So it doesn't need to be from 2D art. So I know a bunch of 3D artists or artists as well. They didn't do traditional art to 2D art before they started to do 3D. Also depends on which kind of 3D. You're welcome.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Nenad Nešović, I think it's the
Yes.
next candidate. So the floor is yours, Nenad. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. This is like, so I chose the portfolio from Nenad Nešović, and as I checked it out on ArtStation as well, I think he's interested in concept art. So Nenad, when I watch your work here that you submitted for portfolio review, I see a lot of interesting work and interesting scenes. So my general feedback for all of them is like it's quite good, and it's done pretty much technically well. Also, I really appreciate when artwork does try to tell some kind of story. So it's pretty much it seems really immersive into this in this work, and adds another layer of depth into the artworks as well. So that's all pretty good. My suggestions would be just a kind of shift in focus of the work. So, for example, we have this kind of, I don't have like much to add on this image as well, just to focus on some details. For example, I would like to see this center guy like this. I can immediately see that this guy is the main character of the story in this image, into some more interesting pose. For example, what if he's leaning on this like a desk with the crossed legs and waiting for a drink in some kind of, or waiting for someone in that kind of pose as well. Just a bit more interesting pose. Detail wise, it's pretty good. I would just maybe focus more, add more tracks in the sand from everyone here. Small detail, but could add to the scene. This one, I mean, it's okay, but I'm really interested in this like main character's face and how does he look like from a front. I would maybe add, maybe play with lighting as well. For example, we have like this huge backlit area here, and we have a character that is really well lit from a front, but there is no like a clear light source except from his staff and this guy's shoulder pads. But I'm not kind of interested in like see every detail on this goat guy face. I would love to see some more moody approach. Like, what if this guy is in a total dark and only eyes or some detail on him have some kind of like glare or like some light onto them. Just some like a suggestion. Nothing like nothing too much. Also now we get to the like point of focus. So I see the two interests in this image for me, like the environment and the characters. They don't work very well together in this image. So if these guys are main characters, especially this one, I would love to see the overall composition of the image more focused on his side or on from his from his perspective, and seeing the more interesting angle of the camera, the whole camera. When I talk about environment, it's pretty good and interesting, and I already started some mock-up 2D images and then in this way. I would definitely add some more color to this. Like, what if this village is really alive? And there, if it is alive, I would love to add some like color to break all the monochromatic tone that this image has. Like, if you imagine those Nepal villages or some villages in Africa, they all have some like colorful details to it. So we see these rags and everything. So it can all have some additional color or some like small flags here and there, stuff like that. Also, this is also really good, but also suffers from that like a two focuses. So we have like this village and this character. So I would like to see the version from this character's perspective, what he's doing he's climbing these stairs. That's totally fine. And also this image of this like village, it would also benefit of just being a village and some like silhouettes of people here and there, and some traces and some details with the more color to it. I can also say that you really paid a good attention of how this kind of structures would be built. So I appreciate that you put some like structures above the doors and windows to support this like weight and everything. So I'm guessing you assembled a lot of stuff from Omega Scans or something like that. I think I recognize a couple of them, which is totally okay. Also, I like this kind of focus, attention to this kind of structure on top of the stairs. I would love to see a bit more of it. Like it has these two pylons or wings. I would love to see more of them, or the whole, like just to put a bit more like image into height or something like that. Maybe it would be more interesting that way. Also, this image, like I mean, it's okay. I don't have like much. Just kind of, for example, this detail of this stuff that hangs from the ceiling. It kind of all of them got lost in these huge dark areas, and the whole scene, like the whole point from which we are looking, it kind of loses depth because of that. So I would suggest this or this element to be closer to the observer, and to add more depth to the scene from our perspective. This is also the scene that really has like a problem with the overall perspective which I mentioned a couple of times already. So I have like two focal points here. Like I have like this derelict store, but I'm more interested in these two characters here. So I would love to have like a focus on them. So this guy opening this fridge, I would love to see him from stuff closer to him, and his part of the image. And also this guy, I'm really like interested to see just this guy resting by this counter, and that's it. Like I'm not really like interested combining them in this way with this whole environment. Also, this is really good. Like it is really nicely assembled and lit room, but it clashes with the focus on this Foxy character here. I mean, I find it really interesting. This character is really interesting to me, but I would love to see him as a focus of this image, or just this room lit like this without this detail, or put or maybe just put a TV that casts this light here, add some mood dust particles here, or some fill light that creeps into this room, and it would be totally fine, like some noir scene from some noir TV show or something like that. Or let's go crazy with this like a Fox guy and just focus and make the whole scene about him, not about the room itself. This is also the same thing. I'm more interested in this Foxy guy trying to burn this whole place down. I'm not so much interested into barrels and the room itself. Same here. I'm really interested in this Fox driving a car. Then the actual road and the bridge. I mean, this whole scene, I mean, it kind of works. Small suggestion, I couldn't connect quite this road with this huge bridge here. I'm kind of imagining this like a highway road that goes through this bridge. Really looks like a huge structure and everything. I don't have like much. This is really good. This one is really good. I mean, I'm interested in this guy too, but overall, the whole scene has like more focus and detail to it. Maybe just put this tree a bit more to the side. It kind of centers in this negative space too much. Like it's just the center, kind of steals the focus from this shaman guy. Also, this scene, I don't really care about the surrounding. I'm more interested into this guy and more sharp camera angle to this scene here as well. Same. This is also the same. I'm also having I just realized today that this is like a backpack from this guy. So just this shot needs just some camera adjustment. This guy is being cut here and here, so that's just like a small detail. And to finish this all, I really like this image. I really like it, and I would love to see this image, this guy front and center, sitting directly in front of the camera on the floor like he is now, without this, but in front of him, this guy is going left, right, and this guy is basically sitting there talking to them some crazy stuff. So either this guy is crazy or he really knows everything about the world and everyone else is crazy. So that is how I would assemble this scene, but this is totally okay. I like the reference to Alice in Chains here. And this is it basically. I love this whole shot, and I would remove this guy because I would love to watch this scene from my perspective and not from his. And I find it would be really more interesting without the character instead of us. That's it basically, but hopefully this stuff would help. And yeah, so
I'm pretty sure it will. But it was fun. The entire portfolio got you very curious. I want to see this.
Yes. That's a good thing when you in your artwork have like embedded story. In any way, but it's really good. Yeah.
But this portfolio, how to say this? Is this art more applied for gaming industry or maybe movie?
Yeah, so I see that a bunch of this stuff would be more applied to movies. However, in some of the images, I think he's kind of Nenad kind of simulated the third person gaming environment and the character as well. So in a sense, it could be work that as well, but it would be more like leaning towards movies, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nenad, and thank you the other Nenad as well for sending his portfolio.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ivana.
Hi.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Ivana can share her the portfolio that she chose, and it's Alexander Vokovic.
Yes.
So this one was really interesting for me as well, but I will let you show it first. I'm not going to spoil anything. So
okay.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. So I chose Alexander's portfolio. I think you're watching this, Alexander. Well, on the first page, he put all his work like merged in one scene, and I found it very interesting. Like you can introduce yourself to the first page. I think that's cool. Also, you send your work in PDF, which is great. I also asked HR which is the best format for the portfolio, and they said PDF. Also, you can attach the link to ArtStation. I saw you have one, so why not attach the link? Also, I see you have really like colorful work. Sorry. Very vivid colors, interesting dynamic composition, and that's great. These character designs, I like this guy. I think it's great, and I would like to see maybe a bit more of him, like progress, how you're working on him, or maybe some concepts, ideas, how you came to this. I would like to see, because I think it's really great. And also, I think it would be best to put your works into segments. For example, first you can put the characters and then some scenes, so just to be in order, because I think it would be easier just to scroll through your work. The good thing is also that you pay even amount of quality in your work, considering the main character and the background, and I think that is cool. So this is your art station, and that's it, considering the bigger picture of how it appears. So I think it's great that you have saturated colors that I think you can work well with them, and they draw our attention. Also, I chose 2 of your works just to show some more things that I would like to talk about. And this is one of them. I really like this scene. I think it's great. The character is so cute. You did a great job with all those details, and I like to see that you can like dedicate yourself to do all of those stuff. I think it's amazing. But sometimes it's problematic because our eye wanders all around, and maybe we can miss the point when we want to show something. So I would advise you to use just paint the one layer black and white and put it on the color blending mode just to see your values. So like this, we can see that those things in the back have almost the same contrast as the front. So that is, we are losing the focus of the character you're wanting to show us. So I did a quick messy overpaint. I reduced the amount of contrast in the back and increased the contrast in the front. Also, here is a preview with the color. Also, I made this potion like really glowing because the cat silhouette, I made it darker, so it pops out from that ray of sunlight which you added. I think you had great intention to do it, but you can like make it more dramatic. So with simple tricks, you can really easily achieve that. The next work I chose is this cat. It's all cats. And I think this scene looks like really magical, and the atmosphere is great. I really love it. And also I would advise you to put the black and white preview to check the same thing as I mentioned on the first one. So what we see here is that it would be advisable to avoid such dark, almost black parts like here, because on the small screens and in the games that would look like a pixel is missing or there is a hole. So try to reduce the darkness of dark parts. Also, I really love this candle that you did, but I think that maybe for this like narrow scene, maybe it's too many light sources. I found this reference just to show you how can you achieve focus with just 2 actually main sources of the light. So we have this one blue and the black from the behind, and that's enough. And some details, eyes and crystals, but we have like the candle, the crystal ball, and the one light from the back. It's beautiful, but maybe we can reduce something. So I don't know if you can see well, but it's really messy, and just to get the picture, what did I mean? I switched off the candle, added a bit of smoke, increased the glow of the ball, and also worked on the hat silhouette a little bit more, since I really like what you did, but sometimes it could look just a little bit noisy. Silhouettes should be clear and like easy to read, not cluttered. So try to think about the design of the objects before you start rendering them. Also, what I see that you are really, and I really think this, you're good at designing those little potions, books, those assets, and here too, like I said before. And I'd suggest you maybe to make one or two layouts with the actual assets that you could use in the game. I found some references on the Pinterest. You can create some, it can be this magic world, or you can create some sci-fi or whatever you're in that moment up to. Because you actually already have them done. So I would advise you to maybe take the book, the scrolls, the potions, and arrange something like that. Because I think you have a potential, and actually you are creating amazing stuff, and I think you can work in gaming industry. So just keep going, and I think that's great.
Thank you, Ivana. Thank you all of you for doing this. We have just a couple of more minutes, and there is a question. There's actually a burning question in each session that we have done. That was the question. The question is from Bruno, and the question is for all of you. Is it good or bad to show early works on when you're applying for your first job? I think this is the first job. There is a discussion going on LinkedIn. So what do you think? Is it good or bad to show early works when applying for a job? Like a learning curve.
It's not, to me, it's not like a good or bad. It's just like, to me, it's not necessary. And I looked for example, a candidate's portfolio. I'm more interested in like his current stage and his current works. And then after, like when we discuss his career, we could touch at some point that kind of like stage in his career, how he started, etc. But to me, it's just like, it's not necessary. I prefer to see the newest and what the best that he has to show.
Yes, Ivana.
I would just like to say I agree with Nenad, and maybe it's, in my opinion, it's maybe better to have a smaller amount of work, which are really good, than have thousands of practices that maybe are not so good. So that's my opinion about that. To actually really show your skills and what you can do the best.
What do you think, Milica? Unmute.
Sorry. I agree with Ivana and Nenad, and I think that a person should update their portfolio like quite often, and with like each new painting and stuff they do, or whatever 3D model or something like that, that they try to like surpass themselves, not to be better than everyone else, just to like think about themselves as their own competition, basically. And
that's a good one, actually. That's a great advice. Okay, guys, thank you for joining us in this session. I know it meant a lot to all the candidates, and I saw in the comments they all watched, Nenad, Alexander, and Tiana, and they are very grateful for your comments. I believe that all of your advices will help them out, and that their portfolios will be even greater. And for the future, just for all the candidates, keep your portfolios tied up and ready to send them, because we will keep on doing this and use all of these professionals for such great sessions. Coming up is white paper talks, and hear out our university professors on the subject of VR and 3D in game art. And thank you for watching this. Guys, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.